Minnesota Vikings defense was garbaggio this season, but one of the lone bright spots was cornerback Duke Shelley, where he came over from the crooked Chicago Bears, was released at the end of training camp, added to the Vikings roster, and he was a bright spot once he was able to get on the field and show what he's got. He's 26 years young. He's 5'9", a $180, 2019 sixth rounder out of Kansas State. Now, the Bears were dumbasses, and what happens all the time is when you have shorter corners who succeed on the outside, NFL teams just try to jam them into the slot because it's like, yeah, he's short. He'll operate from the slot, and that's what the Bears did with Shelley. New regime came in. They kicked him to the curb, and now he joined up with the Vikings, and he was phenomenal last year. 86.4 PFF coverage grade, third in the NFL, 470 snaps, 11 passes broken up, 59.6 quarterback rating when thrown at. Had an interception against his former team, the Bears, Week 18, allowed 0 goose egg D'Angelo Russell touchdowns in coverage, and he is an outside cornerback. He played like 2 snaps in the slot. He is not a slot cornerback. He is round the outside, and he's a free agent. And so what happens is you have a new defense coming in with Brian Flores, and he needs press man corners on the outside. Now, ideally, lengthy corners, but Duke Shelley doesn't fit that mold, but don't care. You have a cornerback who succeeded in press man coverage last year, who actually wants to be here, so how can the Vikings screw this up? Well, like I said, Duke is a free agent, but the Vikings put out a hype video last week about roll the Duke Shelley reel. Now, what's interesting is that teams generally don't do highlight packages for players who are free agents, right? Because it's like, hey, if you don't re-sign him, you kind of look embarrassed, all right? But they put this out about Duke Shelley, and Duke Shelley chimed in on the Instagram comments, "Bring me back." Purple devil smiling emoji. Woo. That's right, man. So again, you have a cornerback who thrived here. I absolutely love his alpha attitude. He's also great in run support, and I mean, could you say like he's diet Antoine Winfield Sr.? Maybe. And the Vikings cornerback room, it's up in the air right now because you have Evans, Booth, and Dantzler. Sure, a lot of young, lengthy cornerbacks. And also, Kwesi drafted Evans and Booth in the 4th and 2nd rounds, respectively. But other than that, it's really up in the air, and it's one of the reasons why the Vikings are constantly being tied to cornerbacks in all these mock drafts. But whether they bring back Patrick Peterson or Chris Boyd or Sean Sullivan or not, it really doesn't matter. They need to bring back Duke Shelley. Again, just because he's not 6'2" and 200 pounds doesn't mean that he can't play the position, and it doesn't mean that Brian Flores can't use him in the new scheme. And Shelley, I absolutely love him. I think that he proved enough last season to get himself a small payday. I'm not saying that he should be getting $10 to $12 million per year, but give him a 2-year deal, $8 million total with a couple million in incentives, basically as another prove-it deal. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. And I think Duke obviously had a good time last season, and he was one of the bright spots on a very bad defense. And I think that given his press man skill set, ability, and cocksureness to be left on the island and being okay with that, and allowing the rest of the Flores defense to really blitz and get after it, I mean, how are they going to screw this up? That's the only question. Duke excels in what Flores wants from his corners, and he wants to be here, and he's not going to be too expensive. So, again, how are the Vikings going to F this up? Can't wait to see. But bottom line, keep Duke Shelley. Re-sign him today. Man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Duke Shelley to the Vikings. Bring me back. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol. Production value.